Well, yeah, we were out there from early this morning, and every day we've gone out, do ground assessments, do aerial assessments, check on progress, areas of greatest need, where's our gaps. Because from the very beginning, it's been about opening up roads, restoring electrical power, restoring communication, and getting our community and the residents what they need. From yesterday's assessment, we could see that all the roads and access was restored. We went over Paradise Park, Hawaiian Beaches, Leilani, Nanavale. And we did the first day after Iselle, so just to check on progress. But right now we have 150 National Guardsmen on the ground every day. So we wanted to make sure a couple areas were covered. One was public safety. So instead of 8 officers in Puna per shift, we have 20 officers per shift, and they have 35 National Guardsmen with them to provide additional presence in our lower Puna areas. Helco has 169 people on the ground and 61 crews working really hard to establish power. The last number we had was 6,800 as of yesterday, and that came down from 8,200 the day before. When the cell hit, shortly thereafter, we were at 33,000. So a lot of work has happened in the last few hours. Of course, our highway crews are doing great out there. They're being supported by private contractors, state highways, Puakaloa, fire and forestry are down helping. So there's a lot of coordination and collaboration going on. But the most amazing thing you see is the support, love, aloha. You can say love and aloha, but in a response to a very difficult time for island residents, people are driving over from Kona, dropping off goods. Saw a group of mothers who were getting their ice together because they were okay, their power had come on, and they were reaching out to others who did not have power. And going into the community and just listening. What have some of the challenges been? A lot of people just very appreciative. For the 6,000 who still don't have electricity, and for those not from Puna, you forget that in Puna, the electricity runs everything because we all have individual water catchment systems at our homes. So you need a water pump to get your water to operate. So when electrical goes, your wastewater system goes, you can't, your drinking water stops, so it's all hand. So that's been a real challenge. So for the families who Helco is still working to restore power, it's going into the latter part of week 1. But the community's really pulled together. The resource centers are out there, Red Cross is out there. We have our nonprofits helping to case manage and coordinate. Seeing our state workers are there, those who get state assistance. We had our state representatives from SNAP, they're helping expediting processing paperwork at the relief center. So
Mayor, is this area capable of holding an election on Friday?
Our job is to provide access, and all the roads are open. We have access. The County of Hawaii will put our Helion bus transit system, and we'll be circulating traffic. So everybody who wants to vote in the precincts that will be voting can vote. If you look at Keonepoko Elementary School, it's Hawaiian Beaches, Hawaiian Shores. There's one access in and out. Because I know it's concerned, can people be notified? It's just Kahakai Boulevard. Paradise Park has 3 entrances and exits. So it's 2 communities that are adjacent to each other. And I did an aerial assessment yesterday, and access has been restored. And our crews, as soon as we receive reports of roads being blocked, private or public, the crews are going in to clear it. So Hawaiian Beaches, Hawaiian Shores, Paradise Park open. So we felt it appropriate, just on the county end, like the decision to hold the elections, that's Office of Elections call. On our end, we want to make sure we protect that right of our residents. So we'll be circulating transit systems. They're finalizing a plan now. And so throughout the day, as long as voting is allowed, if we get a call from somebody who says, hey, somebody on 22nd in Paradise or 12th in Maku'u or an auntie down in the bottom of Hawaiian Beaches need one ride, we're going to get there and make sure she get one ride.
So the answer is yes, you guys can? You think you can do
so
this?
So the answer is yes.
Okay.
Brother Derek, that was a very long response, but the simple answer is yes. We'll make sure, but I'll say this, Derek, more accurately. We're going to do the very best we can.
What are some of the challenges you guys are facing now? We understand, we've talked to a lot of residents, looting is a huge concern, or thefts, especially when they're away. Some people don't want to leave their homes unattended because they're damaged, and then, no electricity.
Cam, I live in Puna, born and raised in Puna, and my 3 children live in Puna. Puna's a beautiful place. and the community sticking together. And again, as I said, I double check with our police chief. Know what, 3 times a day. We're in the field. I'm on the ground every day. Like today, I'm walking by myself and listening to people, and there are no reports of looting. There's no reports of home invasions. I mean, knock on wood, but there's no spike in crime. A lot of people are doing a great job out there. And our emergency operations center, you cannot see, but every agency is in this building working really hard nonstop since Wednesday. And so when we get a report, we double and triple check everything we can. If somebody says there's a senior with medical issues disconnected, we'll send a team down. We have Office of Aging and Elderly Activities overlapping their database to make sure we don't forget about somebody who might need extra care and attention. And because the roads are open, because electrical power is being restored, because telecommunication has been restored, it's a lot easier to identify, help, and support people in a community.
What do people need to do to rebuild? We've talked to a couple homeowners there, like they're not too sure. Do they need to file assistance with the county to get some financial help or FEMA? What's the next step for these folks?
For Thursday and Friday, tomorrow and the next day, there'll be what's called a DARC, a Disaster Assistance and Relief Center, Recovery Center. And from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., they'll be in Pohoa, Thursday and Friday, 12 hours. On Saturday and Sunday, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., they'll be in Mountain View to get Upper Puna and Lower Puna. And they'll have multiple agencies, county, state, and federal, including FEMA, and they'll be there to get people's information, to get documentation. When something happens, the most important is to document. Document what happened, document the damage, written, photographic. Because insurance companies and claims, regardless of which level of government, is going to need documentation and verification of your claims. So if somebody asks what is the first thing you do, take a picture if you can, document what you can, save what you can, because at the end of the day, that's the best way to receive reimbursement or compensation.
And lastly, what do you want to say to some of the residents who are frustrated? They're saying they're not getting much county help, they're not getting a lot of people coming out, especially Kapoho area, the ones that have the storm surge and their houses are literally off their foundations.
Can we say that, people will be upset, but the most important thing is there wasn't a single loss of life. Things that are broken we can fix, stuff that are lost we can replace, but we're so happy and thankful that there was no loss of life or serious injury reported because of Iselle. People are frustrated because they don't have power or restoration of power, but in Kapoho, myself and Civil Defense Administrator Darryl Oliveira were down there in 2 days, on the very next day, on Saturday. And so, our Office of Housing and Community Development went in with National Guard with teams to do damage assessment immediately down to Kapoho on Saturday. So, it's claimed of, I respect people's, right, especially if you're in a difficult situation. You have children, you don't have power, but access is restored. The media, if you put on the nightly news, you see the storm damage from the very next day. But if you go out to Puna today, supermarkets are open. Every single business is open. The kids are at school, the playground, they're laughing and playing. We're not saying everything's perfect and everything's restored, but a lot of normalcy has come back. And so, the services are open, but we still got 6,000 people more to go. Thanks to help they're doing the best they can, doubling down on the manpower they have. And on a county end, we're providing all resources we possibly can to everybody who makes a request. But again, I would reinforce that with, at the end of the day, it's community coming together to help communities. It's neighbors helping neighbors. It's families helping friends. That's what, I've seen in Puna all day today.
And I know you said there's a lot of progress, but any last challenges that are still existing that the county is still tackling now? I know the roads are cleared. I mean, for a lot of the customers still working, getting on power, but other challenges. I think specifically I should have been more clear. The Kapoho residents, they're concerned about the water because storm surge came in, tainted the water, they couldn't use it. So.
But we're trucking in water to people who don't have water. We have water spigots in Puna that's been open since Iselle. People can get access to good, clean, free water in Pohoa, in KL, and other spots in Puna. So, but the concern is still there for those without electricity and electrical power. We just want to make sure that people who need to get help can get help. And right now, because we have such coordination with everyone, communication with the community emergency response teams, that as soon as somebody is in need, we get that information, and we certainly get everybody to respond. So, but we're just very thankful and appreciative of the many hours of hard work of people who've been helping to clear and restore Puna. A lot of those employees have families in Puna too, and so they've made personal sacrifices to help clear and make this it's a tough recovery, but we're very thankful and appreciative for everyone's aloha and support.
So Senator Schatz and Congresswoman Anabusa Island, have you had a chance to speak to either of them?
I've seen both of them at different times, gave them my aloha, but that's my focus, and our focus at the Emergency Operations Center hasn't been on an election. It's been focused on the people of Puna and restoring service.
Has there been anything that you've gone to them to ask what they can bring, perhaps, maybe on a...
Whatever support they're providing is greatly appreciated in the community. We've encouraged them to provide as much support as they possibly can. But here at the Emergency Operations Center, we're working with the agencies we have on the ground to make sure we address the need as it becomes known to us.
So the governor's on his way home now. What more would you like to see the state do? National Guard?
Well, the state's been doing a great job. There's the one thing in a response to a disaster is that it's about people working together. That never changes, whether it's your family, your neighborhood, your community. At this level in Hawaii, myself and our fellow mayors, and they all called. We had a conference call. Mayor Kirk called, Mayor Bernard, Mayor Allen. They're out today. 32 tons of ice is landing on Hawaii Island for their contributions as well as others. I said ice, whatever ice you guys have on Kauai, Maui, and Hawaii Island, hey, send them over. So, we got 32 tons landing today. So the mayors have all been great. The state civil defense, FEMA, they've been in the Emergency Operations Center from day one. And so everybody's been just working really well together. And at the end of the day, finger pointing, excuses, and blame has never solved a single collective challenge we face. So, I have no complaints about any one agency. Actually, when you watch everybody work so well together around the clock for days on end, my overall impression is just one of complete professionalism. Nobody's talking politics in there. It's about what are the need, what are the personnel and resources we have available, and how do we most quickly get those resources to the people who need it most. It's strategic planning and execution. What do we have, what do we need, and how do we get it into Loa Puna.
I hate to put you on the spot real fast, but we just found out that Ali'i Ice, the company that makes basically all the ice on the Hilo side of the Big Island, got vandalized or damaged this morning. Someone tried to break in, and from what I understand, what our newsroom has told me is that they're not going to make ice anymore, and that's like...
Well, Cam, somebody said. So, I don't have verification on that, and as soon as reports come in, we try to verify it, follow up, and get the resources we have to the table. Brandon, anybody? Corrigan?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks you guys. Hey, mahalo for sharing.